Hi dear students, welcome to our next class. In last class you learned about how can you consider the living things are alive and how they are growing, what purpose they are moving, this all you learned. In today's class, the other moment, what if any change occurs in the environment, how they react, what we call that react, you are going to learn in today's lesson. Here in the picture, you are able to see one plant. This plant name is mimosa. Generally, we call this plant as touch me not. When you touch the leaf of this plant, it closes immediately. So this is called response. Whatever the change is occurring in the environment is called stimulus. Due to that stimuli, what action the living things are giving, that's known as response. So here the touch me not plant is closing the leaves when we touch. That closing is known as response, and that touching is called stimuli. So in today's class, we are going to learn about response and the movement. How movement occurs by response we are going to see. So what are the new words learning in this chapter we will see? So the first one is stimulus. Stimulus meaning something or some action that causes a living thing to react. Any action what we are doing, that action is known as stimulus. This action make that living thing to respond. Some change comes, either movement or the response comes by the stimuli. Stimulus is nothing but the action what we are doing. The changes what occurs in the environment known as stimulus. And the next word you are learning here as response. The meaning of response is a reaction to a stimulus. So whenever any action has done, for that action, whatever the answer we are giving, whatever the answer the living organisms are giving, that's called as response. And the next word is organisms. This you know very well because every time we are using this word organisms, ORGANISMS, organisms means living things. The living things are also called as organisms. So there are n number of living organisms on planet Earth. So now we are going to do one fun activity. As I forwarded this picture already to you and you made a tableau column in your notebook. So in that tableau column you mention, children, what are the stimulus in this picture and what are the responses. As the tableau column is ready in your notebook, so write here the first one, what is happening in the picture. What is this plant? I already told you the plant name is mimosa plant. So what is the stimulus here? Here first picture what happened and the second picture what happened you observe. First picture the leaves are open and the second picture the leaves are closed. So please mention whatever you are observing in these pictures, write it in a tableau column and write heading as activity. So this activity you are doing in your classwork by a tableau column. Already you draw the tableau column in your notebook as mentioned in yesterday, and these pictures are also forwarded to you. And once again you look at the picture and write the responses. So what happened in this picture you just observe and note down in your notebook. So here you can see the plant. This plant is growing towards the light. Whereas in second plant, the light is falling on this plant from side. So the plant is also bending towards the sunlight. Isn't it? So this response, you record it in your classwork. In tableau column, what you are observing, you write, children. So here you can see how this picture shows you how this plant is growing towards the sunlight and how it's bending when the sunlight is falling from the side. The plant is also bending towards the sunlight. So these two mention in your notebook, children. And here you can see in normal weather how the person is enjoying the weather. He is not covering his body, he is not shivering. Normally how he is, same way he is enjoying the weather. Whereas in the second picture you are able to see he is shivering due to the cool weather. He is shivering. He wore a monkey cap. He wore the sweater even though he is shivering. So write this in your notebook. And here you can see what you are able to see here. The animal is chasing its food. What purpose it was running back of the deer? It's the food for tiger. So to catch its food, it's running back of its prey. It's running. You can look at the picture how this tiger is running back of the deer. What purpose it's running? To get its food, it's running. To catch its prey, the tiger is running back of the deer. But at the same time, that deer is running away to save its life. So here, what is happening in the pictures you noted in your classwork. So you all have done your activity, right? So as we discussed in the first picture, the leaves are open. The other picture, whenever we are touching, the leaves are closed. The plant is moving or growing towards the sunlight, and the person is shivering due to the cool weather, and the animal is running to get its food and to run away from its predator. To save its life, it's running. So these all the responses. Did everyone noted in your tableau column? Yes, children, hope you all done your activity. Now we will discuss the activity, what actually goes on, and what's the meaning of stimuli and what's the meaning of response. So here you can see in the first picture, what is the stimuli here? What action we are doing? We are touching. We are touching the touch-me-not plant. Yes? So that is the stimulus. That is the stimulus. Whatever the action we are doing, that is the stimulus. And due to this stimulus, what happened? The leaves are closed. So this closing is the response. Due to the stimulus, the organisms are showing response. So this you had to understand by your activity. I hope by the time you all understood what's the meaning of stimulus and what's the meaning of response. What action we are doing is stimulus. What reaction we are getting as response. So here you tell me what's the stimulus and what's the response. Light is the stimulus. Here light is falling from side, so the plant is bending towards light. Here the light is falling on plant straight, so the plant is growing straight. So the light is the stimulus. Light is the stimulus. So the change is occurring only in the light. And plant bending is the response. Now try to find out what is the stimulus in first picture and the response what he has given in the second picture. You see, children, in first picture he is not feeling any cold, but in the second picture due to cold he is shivering. He wore a monkey cap, he wore the sweater and he is shivering. So shivering is the response. This is the response he is showing due to the stimulus from the environment, from the surrounding. The too cool temperature made him to shiver. So shivering is response and cool weather is stimulus. Same way you try to find out in another picture What's happening? What is the response and what is the stimulus here? The response, the stimuli is the tiger trying to catch the deer. It's trying to catch the deer to obtain its food. And the deer is running away. So running is the response. The deer is running. So this is the response shown by the deer. When stimulus, when its predator is coming back, the deer is running away. That's the response it's showing. So you have completed your activity and also clearly understood what's the meaning of response and what's the meaning of stimulus. Yes, now we are going to see how this response and stimulus work out. We are going to see now. In mimosa plant you had seen, and how the light, how this is sending light, is moving towards the light, you had seen. And now we are going to see a video to learn more about stimulus and responses.
A mimosa plant responds to touch. Plants also respond to light. A deer responds to danger. And humans respond to many stimuli like heat or cold and even danger.
Understood, children? How the different organisms are responding to the stimulus you understood. Now we'll discuss based on your activity. What made the plants and animals in the pictures move? So the plants and animals moved because what happened in their environment. Due to the environment, due to the changes, they are showing the responses. So whatever they made them to move, those are called stimulus, and what movement they are showing, that's the response for the stimulus. So these all you note down in this tableau column, which you have already wrote and kept, and you prepared this tableau column in your classwork as a part of activity. So mimosa, what is the stimulus in mimosa? Touching is the stimulus in mimosa. And what is the response in mimosa? Leaves are closing. That's the response. And the sunlight is one of the stimulus, and growing towards the light is response. Chasing is the stimulus. Runs away from the cheetah is the response. And humans are feeling cold is the response. Shivering is the response. Cold is the stimulus. Completed this tableau column in your notebook? And now, what are the different ways animals and plants respond and move? How they are responding and moving? Animals and plants move in response to stimulus in their environment. Plants, they close their leaves to protect themselves, and animals can run, swim, or fly away when any danger occurs. So plants need sunlight for preparing food. So wherever light is available, towards that they will grow. That's one of the response they'll show to the stimulus. Why is it important for living things to be able to respond to the environment? Why they are need to respond to the environment? Why? Because it is important for them to live, to be safe. That's why they will respond to the stimulus. Very quickly they will respond. Deer is running away from the predator, otherwise it may die. The predator may catch the deer and it will eat off. So to save its life, it's running. That's the response. So for any stimulus, very quickly organisms will show the response. That is because to keep their life safe. And now we will see the worksheet questions. What are the worksheet questions given here in this chapter? We will see. The first one, write two reasons why living things need to move. Why the living things are moving? Just now we discussed living things are moving because the stimulus, to response for the stimulus they are moving. In search of food they are moving. These are just hints I am giving, children. By using this hint, you need to complete your answer, right? And now you see this situation, look at the picture and answer the questions. First picture, leaf is opened. So the Venus flytrap, you learned this is one of the insect eating plant. These plants will eat the insects. So the insect is flying towards the leaf and the leaf closed. So here the insect flying toward the leaf is stimulus, closing of the leaf is response. And here the cat is running behind the bird. Running cat is stimulus, flying the bird is response. So what he is asking you, what is the stimulus that make these things move? So Venus flytrap. What is the stimulus here? The insect moving towards the leaf is stimulus. And here cat is trying to catch its prey. That is the stimulus. And what response had seen? The plant is closed, the bird is flying, movement occurred, respond occurred due to this stimuli. How is the response of the plant different from the response of the bird? The response of the plant is the leaf closed. It is just a hint to you, children. The leaf is closed. You take this hint and complete the answer. That is the response. And bird fly away. It ran away because it was afraid of cat. To save its life, the bird is flying away. And the next one, what will happen if we cannot close our eyes in a dusty storm? When dust storm occurs, if we are not closing eyes, the dust may fall in our eyes. Fall in our eyes. The dust falls in our eyes and it may irritate our eyes. Right? So this is just a hint to you, children. Based on this, write these answers with your own words. Okay. Now we will see what are the practice questions given in your textbook in 5.4. So here some fill in the blanks are given and clues also there. Help box is also there. A sunflower plant turns towards sunlight. Already the name itself you can understand. Sunflower turn towards sunlight. So choose the correct answer and write in the blank. A lion chases a deer for just for playing or for the food? It's for food. So you choose the answer and write in the blank. Write if the sentence describe a response or the stimulus. This sentence shows you response or the stimulus you need to find out. An insect lands on the surface of the Venus flytrap. Is it a response or the stimuli? It's the stimulus. Moving towards the leaf is stimulus. The leaf of the Venus flytrap closes. Closing is the response. So you find out, write in a complete sentence. Why do we remove our hands quickly when we accidentally touch a hot plate? That is our response. Hot, cold, these are the stimulus in the environment. So whenever we are facing too much hot or too much cool, we are immediately responding. So write this answer by your own words in your notebook and complete this practice questions and the worksheet and send me the pics, children. Thank you.